I spent 8 months. I was in an Army hospital. I got head trauma and a spinal cord injury when I was there. And I was in the hospital for 8 months. And then I ended up getting out of the Army. And I end up, because I was getting back into the research, and I was asked to speak at a conference in Kentucky. So I went down there, and it was at the hotel there. It had a restaurant and a bar. Okay, so after the conference, so everybody's going into the restaurant and the bar to go eat, and everybody's sitting at the table. So I get up and I go to the bar. I wanted to get a drink, and there was a guy sitting at the bar. He was military. You can tell by the way his haircut, tattoos, things like that. And he asked, he said, what's going on here at the hotel? And I said, well, it was a paranormal conference. And he's talking like ghosts and stuff. And I said, yeah. And he goes, are you, a ghost hunter and stuff? And I'm like, no, I'm not a ghost hunter. I do cryptid research. And, what's cryptid research? And I told him, like, Bigfoot, and I do a lot of Dogman research.
Took him down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, shooting down a rabbit. And he's like, wow, Dogman. Is that like a werewolf? And I'm like, yeah. So we're sitting there talking, and we were just talking about the different posts that we served on, and just a lot of military stuff, getting acquaintance with each other. And he goes, I'm going to tell you something. He goes, you're a brother. I think I can trust you. And he goes, I was former Special Forces. I was 7th Group. I got out, ended up working as a contract with the federal government. And my job was with other former Special Forces, Navy SEALs, combat air control from the Air Force, things like that. Our job was to recover down UFOs. That was our job. Okay. And if there was any extraterrestrial life. So he said that in the early 1970s, the United States got in contact with a new species of alien. So at that time, there was about 27 known different species, okay, that the United States has been in contact with. This particular species was canine, but it was very, very hostile. It was a predator, and it wore like a Halo-style body armor type suit, okay? No gloves, no helmet, no boots, okay? So a downcraft came, they went and recovered X amount of live bodies. So they were so dangerous, in the facility they had here, they were killing the guards and all this other stuff. So the order was to get them out of the United States. So they put them in a facility in Honduras. So these were problem-solving entities, okay? But they had zero common sense, is the way he explained it to me. So I'm like listening to this story, I mean, the way he was telling it, man, it was just, I really believe this guy, because, he just had too much detail, and it was too together, and so they got out of this facility, and they killed some of the personnel there, and it ended up going into like a small village and ended up killing the people there. So his job was to go down with his team and take care of the situation. So they ended up killing them all. But the way, like he said, he described them, that, they were, he said, imagine a wolf, okay, a regular, timber wolf, and on a human's body, but had legs and hands like a dog. He said that's the way they look. Now, what's so interesting about this, I talked to Linda Godfrey about this story. Linda told me that she had the same story told to her by a different person, not the same guy that told me this story, but by a totally different person. So I think that kind of validates the story. So I was kind of interesting, about the subject. Okay. So I had something flash right in my head. Okay. I remember that in Star Wars that came out in 1978. Now, you have to understand, George Lucas was a Mason. Okay. Majority of everybody that ran NASA were Masons. So George Lucas was able to see a lot of stuff that even people in NASA who's been there for years have not been able to see. So this is where he got a lot of his stuff for the show. So in one particular scene, he has two werewolves that's inside the bar. Okay, they're in Star Wars. Now, Mike, what's his name? Dave Baker, I think, was the guy that designed them. He, in an article I was reading, that he was told to specifically make those. These were not generic masks that he made just to throw in for the show. He was specifically told by George Lucas to make these particular two werewolf style creatures. Okay. So if you look at the early stuff on Star Wars, some of the books that came out in like 1979, 1980s, there is a werewolf figure that's based on the werewolves that are in Star Wars, which is wearing a body armor outfit. And I actually have a picture. I did end up taking a picture of it. And it has no boots on. It has no helmet, no gear or gloves. And it's totally identical to the description of what this guy saw. So, I mean, is there a connection there? It's a possibility.